Unlike the other principles where we discussed how a principle works, this principle actually doesn't work, or at least not well enough to recommend. But we're still discussing it here because it builds on what came before and relates to some principles we haven't discussed yet. Both the personalization principle and the voice principle build on social agency theory, which states that social cues can prime a social response in the learner, making the learner work harder to understand the lesson and leading to a better learning outcome. Since the personalization and voice principles focus on the instructor's tone, researchers wondered whether having the instructor's image, or the image of an animated human or pedagogical agent, would help in learning. The short answer is no. A static image of the instructor or of a pedagogical agent does not seem to help. In fact, the research is mixed, showing some effect, no effect, and a negative effect. The reason is that the static image of the instructor doesn't add any educational value to the content. Furthermore, using eye tracking studies, researchers were able to show that learners were often focusing on the instructor's image instead of the visual content that's relevant to the lesson. As previous principles have mentioned, anything that's not central to the lesson, be it visual or auditory, can be potentially distracting. Keep in mind that the image principle refers specifically to a static image of the instructor or pedagogical agent. As we discussed in the signaling principle, if the instructor or pedagogical agent is pointing to something important in the lesson, that's a form of signaling that focuses the learner's attention, and that does work. The embodiment principle will look at how more human-like pedagogical agents can be useful and do help in learning.